friends. Do you really need them? Yes. If you haven't got a friend, then you're just you. There's half as many things that you can do. Who's gonna tell you that you're not a brat? If not your best friend. Do you recall when we did that? Yes. Sharing the brilliant jokes we've had throughout the years. Good times together. It's not the same when you're not there.
Petered out. I think it's allowed to peter out.
Wait,
it's
why?
Not for everyone.
Why did it peter out though? Just because of the stress of the conservator?
Do you know what it is? Yeah. There's a statute of limitations
on what?
On conservatoire experience.
Okay.
It's one of them ones where you can't talk about it too soon, and I didn't know that when I started the channel.
Oh,
but
swear.
I learned that later on.
Wait, what? Wait, why?
Because everybody that you're like hanging out with at college,
yeah,
whether you get on or don't get on, you're gonna meet them in the workplace.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay then.
Crazy. How interesting. But anyways.
So you have to be careful, you know.
But anyways.
And I wanted to be, what's the word? Authentic as possible. But I found that I couldn't do that if I was constantly thinking about
future planning. I understand.
So I had to just.
Anyways, how's the intro going down? So we're
That's a good
say,
question.
Hello, welcome to the podcast with me, Chids, and
it's me, Yemi C.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And to the podcast, can we be friends?
I don't know. Can we?
That's the question.
Let's check.
That's
this
the question
week.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Let's see if we can make it.
Our ideologies are against it.
Yeah, it feels like from time to time.
Crazy.
It feels like.
Yeah, it's just because you care about things too much.
It's not that I care about things too much. Yeah,
but
it's that you don't care enough.
Yeah.
That's what it really is.
Probably, yeah. Actually, not probably, definitely.
It's definitely that.
Yeah. But,
and the thing is, what I don't understand is, if we can agree on the fact that it is that, why can't you fix it? What's your problem?
I just can't care. I don't know. It gets to a point, where it happens in everything I do, where it just becomes so much effort to have to care that I just stop doing it. I think it comes from laziness, honestly.
So then what's the point in being alive if you don't want to put any effort into anything?
I don't mind putting anything into it. It's just a certain amount of effort. And it's not as if I ever feel that effort is worth it or the outcome will change, because there'll be points where the outcome just won't change. So why would I keep putting effort into this thing?
Like, just change the kind of effort you put in if the outcome's not changing.
What are the different kinds of effort?
In different ways.
Like, give me examples of 3 different kinds of ways one can show effort.
Okay, so there can be but there's like physical effort.
Not love languages. Does love languages count as efforts?
To be fair, that can count, but that's specific to relationships.
Yeah.
But it depends exactly what we're talking about.
So
and there are different kinds of effort that you can put into those different things.
So can you just think of an example?
Okay, but you need to present me with a problem, then I can tell you what kinds of effort could go into solving that problem.
Okay, a problem. Let me think of a problem. I don't know. Life's quite good for me. I don't really have any problems at the moment.
It must be nice.
Okay, so you sound like you have a problem.
I have lots of problems.
Can you spit one problem out? Let's hear one.
Which problem should I go for today?
And then when my effort deteriorates, I will say, and you can say the kind of efforts I can put in. Let's do that.
Okay. Which problem should I go for? Oh, your girl's trying to lose weight there.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Cool. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so, yeah, great, because we were just discussing this as well. The thing, because I understand that there's a point where nothing I say will really be helpful, so there's no need for me to keep repeating myself. I just say to the point that I know.
You've made this problem different.
Have I?
Yeah.
How so?
Because in my mind the problem is weight loss, but for you the problem is our interpersonal relationship.
No.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, because...
Really?
Yeah,
crazy.
because what you just said, the subject matter could be anything. It doesn't have to be weight loss.
Yes, true.
So the problem is
That's
the interpersonal
true.
relationship. So what it is you don't like putting effort into your relationships with people.
Yes. That's exactly right.
I love how he's like, yes. You're not even going to defend yourself.
Why would I? You're right.
You've just said you're a terrible friend. That's what you just said.
But I tell my friends this.
Wow.
Wait. I tell my friends that I personally don't think I'm a good friend to them.
Mad.
A lot of them, a good amount of them would deny that and say I am a good friend to them, but I've never really thought I was a good friend. Just because
I don't think you're a terrible friend. I think you could be worse, and that's why they say you're not a bad friend. Because there are some people who are actively bad friends, but you're just passive, which doesn't make you a bad friend. It just makes you passive.
active, well, people are actively trying to be a bad friend to you. Do you have examples of this?
There are people out there who are actively bad friends.
Do you have any examples of ex-friends that
I can think of somebody that I fell out with in sixth form.
Crazy.
Who, all I will say for now was an actively bad friend. That's all I will say for now.
But I feel like another reason, because I never really had any bad friends to my knowledge. That's not probably just because I never really put effort into my friendships. It's just stuff that happens. And I always understood that the reason I have friends is for entertainment. And the reason they're around...
Because that doesn't sound sadistic at all.
Does it?
The reason I have friends is for entertainment.
Yeah, because...
That sounds like a plot from, like, Black Mirror. Like,
really?
what the fuck?
Really?
How can you say that the only reason you have friends is for entertainment? Is that all your friends are to you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
to be fair, you said this to me before.
Of course I have.
But that was in a time in my life when I was being very entertaining. I would admit. But like, and that's the reason why I thought nothing of it, because I was like, oh well, I'm up to a madness anyway. Of course you're entertained.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, as a rule, that's probably not a good thing.
But I feel like it's the way it works for all kinds of friends, really.
I don't think that's true. I think there are friendships that can be entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I know in my mind, especially when I was at uni, I used to separate between good time people.
Yeah.
And like people.
Everyday people.
Yeah. And I think what you're describing is that you see everyone as a good time person.
Yeah.
But no one really as a person.
Well,
and I'll try not to take that one personally.
A person.
Yeah.
No, it's more. I don't know. It's just. Yeah, you're my.
Like that depressive song we were listening to in the car.
That was a great song.
Yeah. I leave a light on.
Yeah.
Who's singing that to you? In your head?
No one.
Wow, that's sad.
Wait, what? Your friends are singing stuff to you?
No.
In your head? Wait.
Why are you making me sound mad?
In your head, your friends are singing stuff to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to my therapist about this often.
Oh,
I'm joking.
Okay.
What I mean is, when you listen to the words of that song, of somebody who, you know, through thick and thin with you, whatever they go through with you, will leave a light on for you, who do you picture is that person?
Myself. Wait, is that crazy?
I think you need a therapist.
Oh, I probably do, but prices are hefty and I'm a cheapskate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They don't come cheap.
I'm a cheapskate.
They're worth the money though.
When I was looking at them and I saw like £60 a session, and I was like, wait. So if I want a weekly session, if I want a weekly session, that's $240. And I know I have my problems, but I feel like my problems aren't such a hardship to my life that I would pay that amount of money.
I must be nice, yeah. Mine are such a hardship to my life, so I've got to fix them.
Yeah, but leave the light on. I don't know. I
think you should think about that this week and come back with a different answer next week. I'm begging. Even if it's just my mum. Like, come on. At least your mum will have a light on for you. Like, you're her son. And you couldn't even say your mum, let alone one of your friends. Like, that's kind of scary.
But I don't know, because whenever I'm in a dark place, I feel like it's my job to drag myself out of it. I feel like it's not.
But you need to at least have some support.
Yeah.
So who would you say is your support system?
Who's my support? I don't know. All my friends, really, because
all of them, every single one of them could be your support system.
For the most part.
Wow.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the look you're giving me is why this title fits so well. Because can we be friends? The way you're looking at me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, yeah. Because it's the way I think. It's just like a lot of the things I Like, if I'm in a bad place, I would try and fix it myself. If I can't, I would then go to any of the friends I was around at the time and ask for their input on it and their opinion on it.
Yeah, but that's the same for everyone. Everyone tries to fix stuff themselves first.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's just why. That's just why I don't think there's never before I seriously
so
go in depth.
as soon as something happens to you, who do you chat to first?
Like something good. I don't even know. Who would I chat? My family, probably. Something, just because they're the first people I'll probably see after it.
Right.
And something bad, oof, depends what kind of bad thing it was. If it's work related.
But if it's general chit chat, like blah 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 blah, this is what my day was like. Who are you talking to?
Oh, anyone who asks.
So people have to ask first. How?
Yeah, I never really come forth with information about my day.
How interesting. How was your day?
How was my day? It was quite nice, actually. I mean, what did I even get up to? I sent off my CV to the person, the CIO that I had the meeting with. But I don't know. I feel like in the corporate world, I have a nervous tick that, because I feel like I never, in my general life, I don't really talk a lot. I feel like that's something I just don't really talk a lot. I feel like in like a corporate setting, when I'm not when I'm not fully prepared for something, I feel like I overcompensate and talk a lot. But apparently I don't. From the colleagues I've asked, apparently I don't.
Maybe it feels like you're talking a lot because you're not used to yourself.
Yeah. I'm not used to myself talking this much.
Yeah.
So then I feel like I start rambling.
Yeah.
And I feel like I did that with her, and I don't know. That's been eating me up inside a little, just because I feel like I messed up the interview. But she asked for my CV. I sent it, and I was working on that CV for like 2 days. So hopefully it's improved, because I sent it to my colleague, yeah, and he showed it to his housemate, because his housemate's apparently really good at this stuff, and she annihilated my original CV. She annihilated it.
I need to get in touch with her. I want her to look at I have 3 CVs.
Yeah, she annihilated my original CV, and then she helped me sort it out, and then I added some more bits to it. So hopefully it's okay.
Interesting.
And yeah, I don't know. But because this person is so high up in the company, right? I feel, I don't know. And originally, I wasn't really nervous to it, but people make me so aware of how high up she is. Now I feel nervous, and because of that, I feel like I'm making mistakes. Like, I sent the email.
I'm sure she's used to that though.
Probably. I sent the email with my CV and forgot to attach my CV. Like,
yeah, that one's big.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if she's that busy, then you'd be lucky if she even opened your email in the first place. Now she has 2.
Yeah.
That's half the chances of her.
It's crazy. It's foolishness. But the game is the game. If it doesn't work out, we gotta move on.
Yeah.
That's something I feel like I'm semi good at. Just moving on from making mistakes.
Must be nice. My brain replays them just when I'm trying to go to sleep.
No, my brain.
And I'm sure I'm not the only person that happens to.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to go to bed. I'll be remembering that one embarrassing thing I did when I was 6.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No. I don't remember. I don't remember doing anything embarrassing when I was 6. I was a kid. No, what was I there to be embarrassed about?
Yeah, that's what I have to remind myself of when I think of embarrassing things when I did when I was young. I have to remind myself I didn't know any better.
No, but like, depends how young. Like 6. I'm like, honestly, 6, because I still kind of have the mentality of a child, I wouldn't even realise that was embarrassing.
Yeah, at the time.
No, but
now
even now looking back, I wouldn't think it was.
No, I do.
But I don't think I've even looked back that far.
But then I'm really easily mortified, to be fair, so.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
I think I am.
But like, maybe if I was like, say 16, I might look back and be like, well, actually, I feel like the only time I would ever feel embarrassed. I don't think I ever felt embarrassed really above the age of like 16. I'm sorry, below the age of 16. Or even because I don't think I was aware enough of like my surroundings to be feeling embarrassed about this stuff.
I just feel like maybe you just didn't do things that were embarrassing enough.
Probably.
But like,
because as a child, I was very kept to myself. Kind of, which is actually, I don't know, because everyone in like my year knew who I was. But that's because I had anger issues.
You were that kid.
Yeah. Of course, I was that kid. But even looking back, I don't think that was anything to be ashamed of.
To be fair, same.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't embarrassed. Same to the being the kid with anger issues.
You had anger issues as a kid?
Well, I was just misunderstood.
Crazy. So, I think
Mostly misunderstood. But most of it comes from my trauma, so it's not my fault.
Yeah. I don't know.
But all the embarrassing things that happen because of my trauma, that one I will forgive myself. Yeah. Everything else, there's no excuse. What was I thinking? But I don't know. No, there are some things that I think about and I'm like, I'm mortified. But I do this thing where like, I will let time pass and then I will say it was because I was young.
Oh, swear.
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting to turn 23 so I can say, oh, I was 22, I was young. Like,
crazy.
It's fine.
Crazy. I don't... That's wild to me. I don't know. If I did it, I did it. I don't think of anything I think was very embarrassing. And most of the things I would think were embarrassing was probably related to me and women. Just because that's what I would say is probably moments that I feel embarrassed.
And alcohol is involved as well. Lord, on my days, some of the things I did in first and second year.
No, even with alcohol, if I did it on alcohol, I would definitely feel embarrassed about it.
Really? I still do. I'm
if
like,
alcohol
come on.
If alcohol was the influence, I really wouldn't care.
But was alcohol the influence though? Or did alcohol just enhance what was already there?
Yeah, that's true. But nah, if I was drinking and someone told me what I was doing when I was drunk, poof. But even then, when I'm super drunk, I honestly just go to sleep.
Must be nice.
Like, I think I've blacked out 3 times in my life.
Have you vomited from drink?
Yeah.
Did you black out after you vomited?
I vomited and blacked out once, so I didn't know I vomited until the next day.
Oh, so you blacked out and then you vomited?
Yeah.
Oh, blacking out is my worst fear.
And the thing is... Because
I need to remember what I'd done, even if it means I need to be embarrassed about it.
And the thing is, when I blacked out and vomited, it would have happened when I was going on my way home. So I got...
That's hella dangerous.
I got a taxi and I vomited in the taxi, apparently.
Oh, but did he still drive you home?
Yeah.
You're lucky.
I don't even know...
There are some who would have thrown you out and been
I don't even know how I got back into the house. Because apparently I was staying at my friend's house and apparently the key, like getting inside, is not even an easy job. But I was in there. I woke up after sleeping like a baby on that couch.
That's mad.
And apparently my friends came back here and they were taking like pictures with my sleeping body on the couch and they continued their evening festivities around my sleeping body.
And you were just sleeping there.
I was sleeping like a baby. I had no problem.
So funny.
Yeah.
You were like a prop.
I was.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I was there just supporting their end of evening festivities.
That's so funny. I don't think I've ever blacked out from drink, you know. I remember everything. And I don't know if that's a curse or a blessing. Yeah. I consider it a blessing because at the same time, I usually have my faculties with me, so I try not to do anything too mad. Yeah. And I feel like if I blacked out, I wouldn't have my faculties with me. So some of the bad stuff I think about doing, I would actually do.
Probably.
And that would be
and I feel like because I have blacked out, whenever I black out, I just go home. I feel like I've been very well trained.
To be fair,
I feel like I'm extremely well trained. As soon as I'm not conscious of what I'm doing, my first goal in life is to go to sleep.
To be fair, I get like that when I bond with other people, because I'm like, I get so anxious.
Oh, is
I'm
it?
like, I gotta go.
Yeah, but even then, you're still conscious of it.
This is true. I've never blacked out. Maybe I'll try it one time.
Yeah, but stay safe, innit? Do it in a space you feel safe.
Would you club? I was thinking about this on my way home from the gym today. Yeah. Would you go back to the club?
To the club?
Yeah.
When? Like, in terms of what?
Like, would you go back to clubbing?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because, as you know, I'm a big fan of free shots. Yeah. And Taser throws events, and I would happily go to one of Taser events.
I don't think that's the same as clubbing, though.
Exactly. That's what I would go to events. I don't know if I would just go clubbing.
Yeah, I was thinking about this on the way home. I was like, I don't think I'm clubbing.
Because it was my friend's birthday, and after we went to the restaurant and went to the pub, because I'm with the lads, all of that. Yeah. So then they wanted to go to. Have you heard of Inferno?
Yes.
Yeah, they wanted to go there.
Oh my days! Oh, I've realised which lads you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I know from the name of the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They wanted to go there. Yeah. Oh, 1 second, I'm getting a phone call.
That's so funny.
Cool.
Okay, so Inferno.
Oh yeah. And they wanted to go Inferno, and I was like, yeah, I'm down to go. And then, cause as of recently, I haven't really been drinking like that. So, they went from the people who did go went from the pub, and I came home, and I was gonna drive there after I dropped my friend.
Who said they weren't going?
Yeah, he said they weren't coming.
Which friend is that? You're gonna have to tell me off air because I just need to know the difference between the group that went and the friend that said I'm going home.
Oh yeah, cool. I'll tell you after then. And then like I dropped him, and then I was like, oh yeah, because also my workmates were out in Clapham as well. So I thought I'll just, go about see what's happening. Then I called my workmates and I called them. And they both didn't pick up. And I was like, there's just no point. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I'm not going there just for you to go gallivant into Inferno and be looking about like a waste man. Nah, I done that once at uni. I'm not doing that again.
Oh, embarrassing.
Yeah.
See, that was embarrassing. But
Was
you
it?
didn't see it that way. If you say you did it in uni, that's embarrassing. You weren't embarrassed. It was very embarrassing.
In the moment I was, but...
It's very embarrassing.
yeah, but it happened. It's gone now. I did what I did, didn't it?
Yeah, no, I could never.
I did what I did. I came out the other side stronger. No, maybe not stronger.
There are some things I would never admit to as an alibi. I would rather go to jail.
Really? Crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually wild to me.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. My family wouldn't be proud of what they heard, but I wouldn't be embarrassed to say it. It was more fear than embarrassment of me saying it.
No, embarrassment. There's stuff that I don't even know if it's fair. If it's gonna keep me out of jail, I don't mind if my mom hears about some mad stuff. But embarrassing stuff.
Yeah. Really crazy. That's interesting. Yeah, I can't think of anything like that. Nah, man, I did what I did and I stand by it. But
that's a good place to end this segment. I did what I did and I stand by it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, the book.
The book, okay.
I read the book.
I just started it. I didn't even finish the first chapter because I was reading it.
No, tell everybody about the one that you finished.
Oh, the one I finished. Men Who Hate Women. So
By Laura Bates. She has such a calming voice. Oh no, you read the paper book, didn't you?
Yeah.
In the audiobook, yeah, she has such a calming voice.
Really?
Yeah. I think she should read other stuff. Like, I think that she would have a really, really good career as a voice actor. Because her voice is so relaxing. Have you ever heard it? Should I play it to you?
Yeah. I have heard it because I'm pretty sure you played me like a bit of the first chapter.
It's too good, man.
Well,
her voice is too nice.
About the epidemic of school sexual violence for years. Its own Women and Equality Select Committee had published a report on sexual harassment and sexual violence in schools in 2016.
It's so weird because it's a calming voice that's telling you about some horrible things.
I don't know.
It's like when people are on the news. You know that guy that was like, "Good evening, paedophiles." It's like that.
No, I don't even think the voice was that soothing though.
Nah, it's sweet. Her voice is sweet still. I really like it.
Like, it's not a not nice voice. Double negative. Yeah.
What?
It's not a not nice voice, so it's a nice voice.
Seen, right?
Yeah. Oh, so you understood what I'm saying? Cool. And then, well, it's like, I don't know. It's not like noticeably better than other voices I've heard. That's what I mean.
It is for me because I read a lot of audiobooks.
Oh yeah, probably.
And there are a lot of books that I read that I think I wish it was Laura Bates reading me this book.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I don't really listen to audiobooks.
Audiobooks are the shit, man.
I prefer to actually read.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is, I like that it means that I can be Like I can do other stuff at the same time.
Yeah. I get that.
Whereas only reading, do you know, this comes into a problem. I think I have a real problem, yeah. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I think I have a problem with overstimulation in that I can't, like, whenever I do an activity, I have to be doing more than one thing to feel like I'm being productive. So if I'm reading a book, I have to be reading an audiobook and be doing other stuff. If I'm going to the gym, I have to be listening to music. Like if I'm chilling in my bedroom, I have to be like watching something. And then if I'm watching something, I'm fucking playing solitaire as well. So I'm not even paying attention to what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Like I have to be doing more than one thing at a time. And I also do this thing where I will sit on my bed. This is so bad, yeah? It's low-key embarrassing. But I will sit on my bed for a good 15 minutes thinking about all the things I have to do that day and trying to mentally put them in the best order to make it as efficient as possible and make it so that I can achieve more than one thing at a time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, I'll be thinking about like, what will I be thinking? I'll be thinking about going to the gym or taking a shower and making food. I'll be thinking about all these things I have to do. And then I'll be thinking, what order am I going to do them in to make them as efficient as possible?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad thing.
I know, but it means that I sit on my bed for ages thinking about doing these things, as opposed to getting up and doing
You're
them.
a big thinker, and not a doer.
So I'm trying to get into the habit of thinking about doing something and then just going and doing it.
Yeah.
Because so often I'll be like, okay, I need to take a shower, but I need to also make lunch. But I was also going to go gym. So what am I going to do? I'm going to shower, eat, and then go gym. What am I going to go gym, shower, then eat?
I'm going to shower and eat.
So think about it like that, yeah? Are you going to... Okay, I need to shower, I need to eat, yeah? Let's say I've just come back from the gym. I need to shower, I need to eat. Am I going to make food before I get in the shower? Am I going to shower before I make food? And I will sit there for 15 minutes thinking, which one am I going to do first?
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like I used to think about that, yeah. And then there was a game I used to play, called League of Legends. And one of the characters called Akali in it, she has a quote, like a character says a line where it says, "Hesitation is the key to defeat." And whenever I feel like I have to make a decision and I'm being too like, I just that line just pops into my head and I just make a decision and go with it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works,
because I was sat in one of these thinking moments, saying to myself, am I going to shower? Am I going to make food? Yeah. And then I'll just start just deciding on something. Like when you think, that's the thing, because I think about doing something and then I think about doing that thing for so long that doing something else pops into my head. So I'm like, now I need to just go with the first thought and just go and do that.
Yeah.
And then figure everything else out after.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be like that as well. But honestly, it was just, I don't know, just every time I remember that line, I just make a decision. And if it becomes more inefficient, then I just have to accept that consequence.
But weirdly enough, like the lack of efficiency would be really useful.
Wow, why do you say that?
Because first of all, right now I'm not short of time. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yes, the freelance work.
Leave me alone. But on top of that, like I need to be moving more. So it would be okay. Like, for example, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, am I going to shower or am I going to eat food first, yeah? In my head, I'm like, how many times does that mean I have to go up and down the stairs?
Wait 1 second.
But then going up and down the stairs would be a good thing for what I'm trying to achieve these days, you know?
Yeah.
Especially now that I am not short of time.
Yeah.
It means that I'm less active, so I need to keep...
Just find an excuse to be more active.
Yeah, exactly.
But even... when you had less free time, were you even that active though?
Yeah.
Were you actually?
Yeah. Because I was doing more everyday journeys.
Oh, okay.
And more everyday movement. Because I had places to be.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I need to make up for that.
And
give myself places to be, even if it's up and down the stairs in the house, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I even need to use my legs more, man. So the physio was telling me, because of my knee pains. You know, I've been telling people for years I feel bare old in my legs. People just laugh when I say it.
Yeah, but you don't feel old though. You have a diagnosis.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
know
the
that.
same.
I know that now.
Yeah, you're trying to profess as if you're some kind of poster boy for old age. You're not.
I know that now.
You said I know that now, but before I thought I was just an old man.
Exactly, and when I was saying that, people would just laugh off. But clearly it was a serious thing.
Yeah.
It was a serious thing.
What do you want me to do? To apologise on behalf of everybody who didn't take you seriously?
I just want it for in future when someone comes to see. This is why. This goes back to my original point. This is why I only rely on myself in those songs.
Oh I'm so sick of you. I'm actually sick of you.
But this is why. Because
yeah, because nobody took your knee pain seriously.
No.
And so now you don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
You're like them guys who get their heart broken once at 14 and then that's their excuse to be demons for the rest of their lives.
Honestly.
No, allow it.
Because when I was growing up and telling people these knee pains ain't feeling right, they're like, stop pretending.
Who were you telling?
The people around me.
The people around you. Was one of them a doctor?
No, I don't think so.
So then what are you expecting us to do? Diagnose you? How are we supposed to know?
Take it seriously, at least.
How serious can somebody who doesn't know what to do about it take it?
Like, oh, have you got it checked out? No one ever suggested that once.
Why does someone need to suggest it before you do it? If you took yourself seriously, maybe you would have gone to the doctor.
Yeah, but
so really, the same person you've been relying on, who is yourself, is the person that really let you down.
Yeah, but let me finish. So, the reason it... Wait, what was the question again?
Let me finish, she said.
What was the question again?
Anyways, should we move on to the next topic? You've forgotten yourself.
No, this is to do... Yeah, because everyone was making light of it, so I didn't think I had to take it seriously. And then, now that I'm doing this year where I'm trying to be more on my own side, right, to gain some confidence internally, I was like, yeah, let me go get this inspected. And
you don't think you have enough internal confidence?
Oh, no. I feel like internally, I'm a very timid character. Externally, people wouldn't believe that.
Yeah.
But internally, I've always felt very timid.
I reckon I'm the same. Yeah. It's a tough one. To be honest, we never even actually spoke about the book, bro.
Yeah, I realised. Because you started talking about how nice Laura Bates' voice is.
Yeah, it's a nice voice though.
Yeah, but like I said, for me, I just didn't do anything special.
Right, so the book.
Yeah.
The book, Men Who Hate Women. I remember when I first read it.
Yeah.
Well, when I started it, I think I started it like on paper. By on paper, I mean on my iPad.
Yeah.
And then I got the audiobook. And I started reading the audiobook on commutes.
Yeah.
And it was such a strange experience.
Because you started to hate all the people you saw around you.
I was looking at men and I was screwing strangers.
You were looking at strangers around you.
Yeah, because I was like, I can just tell that
a deep burning passion started forming in you.
I can just tell that you're part of the problem, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mad. There was a moment where I actually caught myself doing it on the tube and I said, Eve, you need to calm down. and I changed to a playlist. can't keep like...
It's aggressively staring at you.
Men who hate women is making women hate men, but anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good line, actually. That's actually very true. I wholeheartedly believe that, but also, it's justified, isn't it?
I mean, yeah,
it's justified,
absolutely. But I had to like take it out of my ears because I knew I was. I just had to really. I knew my limit in it.
Yeah.
You know, like that lady that was like, I'm finding it. That's what I felt like. I was like, okay, let me just. But yeah, it was such a good book. So validating.
Yeah.
And so eye-opening.
Yeah, I could. Well, because I'm not a woman, I can't fully relate to it. So I can understand how it's very validating. And it was very interesting to me because I was like, I've seen how some of the things she mentions have happened within my life. Like, yes, I've like been witness to like we start talking about like Jordan Peterson or pickup artists and things like that, right? I'm like, I've witnessed this around me and just never realised
artistry. I think that was okay. I'm not gonna say it was the scariest chapter. But I think it was the most relatable one, and that's what made it the scariest. Because, like, some of them were a lot of it was very extreme. So, like, all the stuff about like Red Pill and like Reddit and all them like chat boards of like men who actively hate women was scary to read. But it's one of them ones where like she even said like it's like maybe 10,000 people, like 10,000 men in the UK.
Yeah.
And you know the UK has 60 million people.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a drop in the ocean. Obviously, it's not. Obviously, it's not harmless.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
especially
but it's not.
Some of these people are pretty high up in like
Because
business and government.
Yeah, that is something I thought.
But
it's not harmless, but I feel like it's not.
It's not as mainstream.
Yeah, it's not as.
But the pickup artistry thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
And like realizing that it is literally a hop, skip, and jump from there to the most extreme places.
Yeah.
That was what really threw me, because I was like, wow, this is true.
Yeah.
And I think about the way that, like, to be fair though, when I was a teenager, I had the body of a woman in it. And I think about the times that, like, people used to follow me in their cars and harass me in public transport. And you think about these things. And the thing is, it's so weird, because I remember when I think I must have been turning something like 14.
Mm-hmm.
And these people that I went to church with, who were, like, older than me, like, sat me down. They were like, right, we need to have a chat. And I was like, what? And they were like, oh, now that you're turning 15, whatever, and you have the body of a woman, you need to know now that people are going to move to you. They're not going to move to you because you're nice. They're just going to move to you because they can. I remember those words.
Really?
I remember exactly those words.
Crazy. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And at the time I was like, hee, ha, ha. It was not funny after that. It was real and scary. And it's true, it is because they can. And my biggest example is Notting Hill Carnival. Nobody is going to Carney looking for their wife. Nobody's going to Carney looking for their husband. But people will move to bare people on the day of Carney. Why? Because they can.
That makes sense.
Right?
That makes sense. Because I am people, yeah.
And men never do it in a way that isn't creepy.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. Because I remember who was I speaking to? Probably my cousin. Or just one of my friends, probably. That it's like moving to a girl is always a like 60-40. And the 60 is that you come across creepy.
Yeah.
And the 40 is that you come across as someone likable.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just how it's always gonna be.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you have to accept. I feel like I accepted it, and that's why I don't really move to girls.
Yeah.
Just because I'm I don't
know what the solution is.
It's just like I'm fine being alone and not having this conception that I'm creepy. Yeah. Like I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah. I don't know what the solution is though. But I think it's just, do you know what it is, yeah? Like most things, men just ruined it. That's what it is. Like, if men hadn't ruined it, then it wouldn't be a problem. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm telling you now. Because where does it come from? Why did a group of older women have to sit me down and talk to me about it? It's because it's a thing that has been happening bare and happens bare. When something happens so much, it stops being positive. Like, it stops being... Especially when people people mostly have bad experiences to scream about, then you've ruined it. Yeah. Then there's less of a possibility for someone to ever have a good experience of it. Yeah. When I ruined it.
When I started getting a lot of friends who were girls, right, and like they all had some sort of story, I was like, this is wild. Yeah. Like, this is wild. Yeah. Because these are people.
Because you could be someone's story one day.
Me, yeah. I probably am.
Yeah,
it's not nothing I'm proud of, but it's probably true. I probably am someone's story. And like I said, it's just something that you have to accept to a certain level. And it's sad that you do have to accept that, but it's something that you have to accept to a certain level. Just because with going out on like a limb like that, there's always that chance. There's always like that chance that it doesn't go your way and it stays with someone else in a different way to how it stays with you.
Yeah, it's true. This is why I hate embarrassing situations.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So something that you find embarrassing, someone else is thinking a completely different thing of that, and it stayed with them differently.
Maybe. I hope so. I do hope so.
Yeah.
Because what? Anyway, yeah.
Because say I've moved to a girl and someone would call it embarrassing, and I never really cared for it. That girl would then go to her friends that was creepy. Yeah. It's just the game is the game, and the game shows no love.
It's so true.
It shows no love to anyone. Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, man, that fucking annihilated my soul for a good couple of months. I won't even lie, because I was still at college. I think still at uni when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was a lot. It was What else do I remember from it? I used to reread chapters all the time as well. I think it was because of her voice, but like low-key, like I just internalizing her message so much.
Yeah.
And then I read Fix the System,
System
Not the Women.
yeah.
Ah, that one. I mean, I won't lie. There was a lot of it, like parts of it were really giving white feminism, but Men Who Hate Women. I think the biggest
What's
thing
the difference
for me
between like white? What do you mean like white feminism? Is there like?
So okay.
Yeah, explain further for me, please. Show your
I've
working.
told you about this, innit?
Yeah, I feel like you have.
You're working. Are you gonna give me 15 months?
Oh my god.
So I told you about this, innit? Where like there was a school of thought, let's call it, that characterizes white women in the same kind of box / category as black men.
Oh yes, you have told me about this. Yes.
In that, it's like you have one characteristic that kind of puts you on a pedestal, and you have another that marginalizes you. And for as long as like your pedestaled characteristic is working for you, you're happy and things are going well. You have not much to say. But when your marginalized characteristic is attacked, you cry like banshees. Yeah. And then from the perspective of somebody who is kind of affected by intersectionality.
That's straight marginalised in both groups.
We just look at you like, why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? No, but why are you screaming? It's like you've just joined the party. Yeah? You don't think the rest of us are suffering. It's only because you've now started to feel your suffering that you're screaming now. Right? But then it starts to get very problematic because there are some people who are part of this half in, half out, who kind of refuse to see how they are
a part of the problem for
effectively,
okay.
or they just fail to see how they are in a more privileged position than people who suffer from intersectionality, basically. And what happens is they then start to dominate the conversation around the one marginalized characteristic that they hold, when really you need to yield the floor because you just got to the party.
Okay. I have to bear in mind when I now read the book.
Oh yeah. Because and the thing is, I think that was the most interesting thing about reading it, because it was written by a white lady. But I never felt like she was being too loud, and I felt like she yielded the floor to intersectionality a lot more than I expected her to. But there were some times when she was screaming about some stuff and I was like, isn't that deep though? But like obviously for her it must have been. Okay. But you know? Yeah. But then maybe that's just my internalized being at peace with some of the stuff that happens. But because she does talk a lot about like how, you know, it was tough for her to be a woman because her family members wanted her to be a boy, or her brother got this and got that.
Because like I'm like 10 pages in, and that was like one of the first things she stated.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, okay.
I was like, that's one of the first things she stated.
Not to obviously like not to diminish what she's been through, because obviously everybody has their own struggle. But at the same time, I'm like, but that's in my head not worse than being called a dirty nigger when you walk down the street. You know what I mean? So, you know, in the balance of things, if there was a massive scale for all the microaggressions anybody could ever experience, where really would that be on the scale? But you know what I mean? It's So that's.
I don't think I've actually ever been called a nigger by someone who's not black.
Have I don't think I've ever been called it, but I've heard people who shouldn't say it.
Yeah. I think
in situations where they knew it was gonna make man uncomfortable.
Nah, I think situations. I don't think situations. I don't know. The most memorable ones are normally just in school when people are reading like Of Mice and Men or something.
That was always the most awkward thing ever.
Yeah. That was just awkward.
I hated it.
That was just awkward.
Fuck.
That was just awkward because say we were reading it as a class, the teacher couldn't knowing the word is in there, then make the black person read it, because then they're like, you can make me read it because it has this word in it.
True.
And then when a white person's reading it, they're reading it and they're like, do I have to say it?
What
and
used to
then,
annoy me
people
most-
are a bit too excited to say it.
Yeah.
Some people are a bit too excited to say it.
Them ones there. No, miss, let me read this bit. Listen, I just fucking... Do you know what it is, yeah? What I feel like was the problem in those GCSE English classes was that there was no... trigger warning, like there was no explanation, there was no class. Today we're going to be reading this book that has this really terrible word in it. Let's talk about it before we open the front cover. There was none of that. You see, neither did the English teachers.
That was definitely something they could do. But I think
for real.
No,
but they should have.
I
And
think
honestly,
in my school they had that conversation after they read it though.
But that's mad because, you know, the point of GCSE like that book being in GCSE English is that we're going to analyze it, innit? Why should the analysis not start before you open the cover? Like, you as the English teacher, you know what... Stop moving like this the first time you're reading a book. You know what's in there. The kids don't. So, obviously, they're not going to bring it up. Or if they do, they've been told by their peers, but they don't know much. You're the teacher, bruv. Take control of the situation. Like, you know what's in the book. You know the whole purpose of this entire exercise is to teach a kid to analyse, yeah? Even, like, analyses that you are looking through as an English teacher is going to talk about race, so you know what's in the book.
Yeah.
Pull up a trigger warning, blood. Let people know.
That's true. I don't really thought about that.
And like formulate a plan for how you're gonna handle whenever the word comes up before you open the cover. This is why I never felt sorry for my English teachers whenever they felt awkward when that happened, because I'm like, this is your fault. Yeah, sit there in your awkwardness because this is your fault. Like, yeah, you're flustered now, you're blundered. Keep being flustered, it was your fault.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's a good point. They actually could have. I wonder why they didn't. I wonder why they didn't think to do it, because...
Honestly. But then it's mad, because when you think about it like that, yeah, that then brings to mind the fact that people only see situations that affect them personally. Like, people only see marginalised situations that affect them personally. And that's part of the whole white women, black men question. Yeah. Is that because of a lack of intersectionality, you will only see when a situation affects your marginalised characteristic. So, you know, as a white English teacher, why would it faze you that word is in a book? Yeah. It doesn't have any effect on your life, really. Yeah. And so you wouldn't think to put a trigger warning in, but we definitely would.
And I'm like a very prominent case for that point, just because, like, even like that's like there was like the song lyrics like a friend of an op is an op. Like, I've never thought that. Just because it's like they've really done me no wrong. Like, unless that begs the question. Unless they've done,
can we be friends? Because that's always pissed me off about you. I won't lie. That's always pissed me off.
I don't hate the people you hate.
Yeah, that's always annoyed me about you. It really has. I won't lie. I don't know if it's that I want you to hate the people I hate, but in my mind, I'm like, for me, I'm a person who goes for cautionary tales, innit?
What does that mean?
If I've seen a person do someone else wrong in a certain way, I will always have it in my head that this person is capable of doing this mad thing. And so how then can I hold this person close enough to do that to me? But you, everything in the garden is rosy as long as nobody's got my law. Like, nah. My gosh.
Yeah, honestly, it's just... Well, it's more... I just put my own... Like, I always try and be as objective as possible with things. And when some of my friends tell me a story of someone that is doing wrong to them or they don't like, because I'm just like, yeah, I understand, but...
See, this is why you could never be a world leader.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I couldn't lead the world. I don't know what I'm doing.
Imagine you as like the president of the United States, yeah? No, you could never be. No, you'd have to be the president of somewhere smaller. Because the United States has too many... Okay, let's say you're the president of...
The UK?
Who's in NATO?
Prime Minister of UK?
No.
That's too big. That's too big as well.
Yeah. Who's in NATO? Who's unknown but is in NATO? Like Belgium. Yeah. Is Belgium in NATO?
Probably.
The Prime Minister of Belgium, yeah? And you're in NATO. Before you got power, you're in NATO, yeah? You have real nice, cushy trade deals with Russia. Russia's now invaded Ukraine. and NATO's saying, right, we're cutting all ties with Russia. Nobody's rolling with Russia. And you'll come through and be like,
no,
no,
but sometimes
the op of an op is not an op.
But no, it's the friend of an op. And I understand that if I'm a part of a community, I then have to accept the rules of that community. If the rules of the community is that if, as a community, there's certain things that you don't like, as an individual, you can't override that. And
I think so.
I understand
the same
that.
For the black community then.
See, but the thing with the black community, is that the black community is made up of such other little communities that it shouldn't really...
Isn't every community?
No, because say, like, NATO, for example. NATO is made...
Is that not made up of loads of different
Yeah, but it's made...
But they all decided to cut ties with Russia, though.
Yeah. As the community, right?
Mm.
And that's because when they then agreed upon that, they then agreed that the rules this community sets are when you're like, you have to accept it as an individual. Like, that's joining NATO makes you sign up to that, saying that when as a community you make a decision, you as the individual also have to make the decision.
All right, cool.
But the black community,
no, forget the black community.
Okay.
On the back of that, then,
cool.
When you sign up to be friends with somebody, don't you think that you then adopt their enemies? Don't you think that is part of friendship? Not like, adopting their enemies sounds a bit like negative, but like, don't you think then that means that the loyalty that you are promising in friendship extends to at least giving a side eye to somebody who does your friend wrong?
But it depends, because it depends how that friendship is. Because say with
so you don't think that's
say with our teacher and friendship.
You don't think friendship includes loyalty?
No, it does, but then it's how is loyalty defined in that friendship? So say so if someone if me not liking someone you don't like is important to you as a friend, and I can't do that, then we can't be friends anymore. And that's something that you have to make clear. You have to, like if you came to me and said, like, I don't want you ever speaking to this person, and if you do speak to this person, we can't be friends anymore. That's then setting out the guidelines of how this friendship now works, and I'll understand that, and then it leaves me with a decision to make.
How interesting.
But most friendships, they never set out these guidelines.
That's so interesting.
And the ones that do, the ones that don't, they normally just keep it themselves and then stop being friends with that person because they're friends with someone that they're not siding with them against this person that they hate. But they never made that clear that that's how they want their friendships to be. And I make it clear in a lot of my friendships that I'm not wholeheartedly invested into it like that, so that if you hate someone to the point where I can't agree to also hate them, that we can't be friends anymore.
Interesting. It's so interesting that you describe it like that, because I recently had a phone call with someone about literally this situation.
Okay, yeah.
Where they were asking my advice.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what should I do? Basically, the situation this person was in was that, it's so complicated. I feel like I should do it like a dilemma. Let's do like a dilemma, like a scenario or something like that. With different names, yeah? Mm-hmm. I feel like anybody who knows me well enough listening to this will know exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But okay. Alright. So, Kelly was living with James.
Okay.
And there was a situation between Kelly and James that resulted in Kelly accusing James of sexual assault.
Okay. Crazy. Okay.
There was a lot of like rigmarole around it, but ultimately what ended up happening was that a group of people common to James and Kelly found themselves in a situation where they effectively needed to choose a side. And although people were sympathetic to Kelly's situation, what happened was that Kelly had to leave this common group of people. And that meant that James was the only person who was left there.
Okay.
So in a weird way, everybody just kind of carried on. Yeah. Even though obviously a lot of people knew of the situation, and quite a few people had decided that to write off James, basically. Okay. So the person that I was speaking to on the phone, let's call him Jonathan. was new to the situation. So he wasn't around when the original situation happened.
Yeah.
He only just became privy to this information later on because he came later.
Yeah.
And he became friends with someone who was there the whole time. Let's call her Sandra. And since he was Jonathan previously knew James before coming and joining this common group of people.
Cool.
Once he joins, he and James obviously are seeing each other more often, and so they're forming a closer bond. James then leaves. His time is done. He finishes. He goes. And so now Jonathan is in this common group of people, making better friends with Sandra.
Okay.
Who was there the whole time.
Yeah.
And Sandra's still there. And Sandra's obviously Sandra realises that Jonathan and James are a bit close. And Sandra says to Jonathan, if you're cool with James, I can't be cool with you.
Okay.
Sandra's like, don't you know what James has done?
Wait.
And Jonathan's like, yeah.
Wait, but so Sandra wasn't cool with James.
After what James done, yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's one of the people who cut him off, and
yeah.
Okay, cool. I think that clarity.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. So Sandra's like, don't you know what James has done? Jonathan's like, yeah, I heard. Obviously, I wasn't there. Obviously, I haven't been able to, because obviously Kelly left a long time ago. Haven't been able to speak to Kelly about it. Haven't really been able to speak to many people. He's spoken to a couple of people in this common group about it, but never really been able to dig deep, particularly with Kelly. I don't even really think that Jonathan brought it up with James either. But Sandra's like, yeah, I can't. Like, we're cool. It's going great. We're really good friends. But if you're cool with James, I can't be cool with you. James is gone, by the way, at this point. So in terms of physical access, Jonathan is seeing Sandra so much more than he's seeing James. And Sandra's like, yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah.
What do you say? What should Jonathan do?
Firstly, bring up James. That's the first thing I would do. That's the first thing I would do. Because I was in a similar situation to this. And the girl who told me that she was sexually assaulted by the James in this story, the first thing I asked her was, can I confront him about this? She said I shouldn't, and I respected that decision.
Right.
And I told no one else. I told no one else with that. And then after that point, what I did was focused on her being okay, and that was it.
Right.
And the thing is, but the minute that you hear a story like that, you then start thinking you then, to question whether it's true, you then start thinking back about this person's character. And ever since I heard that point, this guy's character became more and more questionable. Just witnessing it day to day, to the point where I'm just like, I virtually 100% believe this girl.
See, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even at that point, the pandemic, so I stopped seeing that guy. Anyways.
I see. But then that's what I meant when I said that it should put something in your head to say, is this person capable of something like this? And is this person capable of doing it to me? That's what I mean. But anyway, yeah, continue. Yeah.
But this became more and more questionable, and if I ever speak to that guy again, I can 100% be cordial with him, but he's not someone I would go out of my way to interact with or reach out to. It's just that if we happen upon each other, I'm not going to treat him with bad blood. I'm just going to be
just too damn nice.
I'm going to be as respectful as I standardly am, which honestly isn't even that respectful, but I'm going to be as respectful as I am on a normal day. But it's just this guy's just not my friend, because there are two kind of people. You're either my friend, sort of like an acquaintance plus is, I just say friend. Acquaintance plus is friend. Yeah.
599 month.
Acquaintance plus is friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Acquaintance to friend to close friend to best friend.
Wow. So you group acquaintance with friend. Close friend.
Yeah. If you're an acquaintance, if I'm talking to someone about you, I'll just say a friend I know.
Right. Yeah. So then, where does that put James?
James,
Yeah.
well, before the pandemic, and I even heard this point, I would say he was a close friend.
Right. And then after?
That's my point. So it's acquaintance plus, I'd say, friend. If you're not that, you're nobody to me.
So if you're not that and
me.
you're indifferent to you,
Yeah.
you still treat somebody you're indifferent to
Yeah.
cordially.
Yeah. Strangers, I'm indifferent to strangers. So why would I not treat a stranger cordially?
No, but I don't mean like you don't. No, but it's different because a stranger is not expecting you to pay them much attention because you don't know them.
Yeah.
But somebody you did know that you were close to will notice a difference.
They won't because, I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't just because of who I am as a person.
See, but that's a problem.
Okay.
Don't you think? I think, in my opinion, put myself in your shoes. If I have found out that you've done something this heinous, you should notice a difference between the way that I used to treat you and the way that I treat you now, because you should realise that what you've done this is the consequence of your actions. Otherwise, you're not going to feel it.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. I fully get that.
And then in my mind, if you're saying that he won't even notice a change between how you were and how you are now, then that means you've not demoted him from acquaintance plus.
But we probably the reason I say that is because we probably we were only good friends when we saw each other in person. So if we
so if you saw him in person now, are you doing up good friends again?
No, not really.
So he will see a difference then.
But I doubt it.
But if he doesn't, then you haven't demoted him from.
But I doubt it because I don't know, because I feel like I just have there's a baseline of like respect that I treat people with, where
and that baseline is
like,
the same for acquaintance plus and nobody.
Where if we meet in passing, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, and we'd only ever meet in passing. We never actually hang out to the point where you'd notice the difference.
I'm not sure I approve of that, but sure, okay.
But yeah, that's my.
That's what you think Jonathan should do.
I think he should
treat him so that he wouldn't even know that there's any change.
No. That's just for me, but we all know I'm an enigma. Yeah. But like I said, Jonathan.
It's a fancy word for problem.
it is, and I love it. But actually, it really is. Yeah, it really is. That's a really good point. But yeah, you just confront James about it and hear James' side of the story.
That's what you think.
That's what I think.
Really?
Yeah, and then decide who he wants to be friends with more.
Wow.
Interesting. What advice did you give him?
I told him that he should look inwardly.
Okay.
And decide what is best for him. Because I said, you're not judge, jury, and executioner. You're not here to prove if somebody did something wrong, if somebody did something bad or not. You're not even here to actually even have an opinion on the situation because it happens so far away from you. And I was like to him, realistically, look at your situation, look at what you're going through, and decide, is having loyalty to this person, whoever they are, going to benefit me?
Yeah. That's good advice.
I know. I'm really good at advice. Thank you.
Mm.
Because I was there when the whole James and Kelly thing happened, didn't it? And like, it was a long time ago, first of all. Not that long, but long enough. A lot has happened since. And for me, the main thing when speaking to Jonathan was, Jonathan, you weren't there. So you're taking on the burden of a situation that literally has nothing to do with you. Why should you have to suffer for a situation that literally has nothing to do with you? Why should you be in a position where someone is giving you an ultimatum over something that happened when you weren't there and you had literally nothing to do with? So it's not even as if you're facing consequences of your own actions. Why are you facing consequences of other people's actions that they did when you weren't there? Nah. For you, decide which friendship benefits me the most and choose that one.
Yeah, well, she said the same thing.
Yeah. Except I knew that. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, no, go.
We'll talk about it off air.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like this has been a very good first episode.
Oh, hey.
I feel like this hasn't been too bad. Too bad. And the question is still yet to be answered. Can we be friends? Maybe. Find out next time, I guess.
I'm finding it tough. After that last segment, I'm finding it tough. I'm not going to lie. We have to talk more about this acquaintance plus thing.
The acquaintance plus thing?
Yeah. How can the person not notice a difference?
Because it's in passing. In passing, I mean, plus, the James and my situation, he was the kind of guy he wouldn't notice that stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
That's really what I'm saying.
There should be something that he
if it was you,
though.
Like if it was you probably notice straight away.
Yeah.
But because of him, he probably wouldn't notice.
Maybe.
Because if he's only in passing, he 100% wouldn't notice. Just because in passing, he's a bit like me, where he doesn't really care for those stuff.
The James in my situation definitely noticed.
That was
But I had to, because we went from 100 to 0.
Yeah, that makes sense. So. But yeah.
And that's how it should be. Oh, I'm joking.
But yeah, but that's why in my situation, because of who the James is in my scenario, he wouldn't notice the difference just because of who he is as a person, and that also adds to the fact why I can believe that he did what he was accused of doing.
I love how you said he did what he did.
Yeah, but I can't say he did what he did because I don't know if it's all about.
Yeah, no. I mean, like Lady Grantham said in Downton Abbey, because I'm a period drama gal.
Yeah.
She said, however much a couple may strive to be honest, no one is ever in possession of the facts.
Yeah.
So there's that. So then, ever since that whole James Kelly situation, I've changed my outlook on how I deal with that now. And I take my own advice and instead think inwardly. Because realistically, all I can do is support a person. I can't put myself in their situation and then decide based on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can't make myself into the victim. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So instead, I just inwardly think, okay, for you, Eve.
Yeah, I think that's what isn't that what I do?
No.
Why not?
Because you were like, had to go and confront James. Why? Are you the victim?
No. I wouldn't say, well...
So why have you gone and made yourself the victim?
No, I wouldn't say confront, but it's more like question. Just because...
Why?
Are
you a detective?
I try to be.
You call yourself police.
I try to be sometimes.
Yeah, that's a problem.
No,
stop trying to be detective.
No, really.
No, for real.
No, but it's just because I want...
when that was your first piece of advice, I was like, yeah, we're different on this.
Yeah, because it's more... It's
not about proving the facts. It's really not about proving... That's not your job.
But I just always want to, when I make a decision, have the most objective opinion I can.
No. Stop. No. I think the mistake you make is assuming that you are worthy of an opinion.
Yeah, no. But I feel like if the person asks for my opinion, then I'm not worthy of having an opinion?
Yeah, but a victim isn't asking you for your opinion. A victim is telling you what's happened. They're not asking for opinion. They're telling you this is fact.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to respond with an opinion.
Okay.
In fact, that's probably the most damaging thing you could do if you're trying to support a victim.
Yeah.
Because what it gives off is, they've said, this happened to me, yeah? The Easter Bunny came and stole my eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, can I go and ask the Easter Bunny if that's true, though? How does that feel to a victim?
That's true. That's making a good point. But, yeah, that's making a good point. Though, I feel like
So, stop assuming that you deserve it.
I feel like I've worded this incorrect of how I acted at the time, because I remember at the actual moment that happened, I messaged you to ask how I should react, and I carried out what you said I should do at that time.
What did I say that you should do?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Did you message me straight away?
Yeah, because I feel
I need this chat.
I feel like you'd be you, because
I don't think I would have told you to go and ask Easter Bunny.
No, you didn't. Okay, then. You didn't. Because I remember, because even before where I was now, I was even less empathetic than I am currently.
I see. So I must have said something to make you more empathetic.
Yeah. So you said you said something. So you said something that I should. You said because the way I was gonna react, I knew, because she came to me and I think one of the things you said was like, don't offer your opinion or anything, just. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because I remember the minute, because it was on Snapchat, so I half swiped the message, and the minute I saw the message, I messaged you because I knew I wouldn't know how to react to that message when I was in there.
Bless you.
Because I just know that.
I'm just your fucking conscience, innit? Bloody hell,
within reason. Within your reason.
Or within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah, because if it was within your reason, that would be a problem.
Why?
Because we've just heard why.
I don't get it.
Thank God I'm here then.
Yeah, I don't get it. But, for the first episode, that was pretty good, right? That was pretty good. Are we going to have like a sign-off? How are we going to do this?
What should we make it?
So that sounds like a no. We can work on that.
No, we can. No. What should we make it?
I don't know. After this, can we be friends?
I'm going to have a little think about it. Actually, to be fair, do you know what it is, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not that we can't. It's almost now that I feel like we need to be. Otherwise, you're going to be a danger to society.
You said that before, you know. You've actually said that.
And the fact that I'm saying it again proves that it is, yeah.
You said
not
that
much
before.
has changed.
But I don't know, because sometimes when I talk to you...
I feel like you need my friendship.
Yeah, that's what, because you know, that also reminds me of the thing, because when you gave me Men Who Hate Women, right?
Yeah.
You said that if I didn't have you as a friend, that's who I would have been.
Yeah, I did.
And
I did. Yeah.
To this day, I wholeheartedly do not believe that.
You don't.
I wholeheartedly do not believe that.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
I don't
think. But the thing is,
I'm
not saying it because I'm not saying it personally to you.
Yeah.
I'm saying it in general to like the whole, the way that you grew up, like the whole boys' school.
Yeah.
You know, middle class area type. That's like that caricature.
A reason I say I wholeheartedly believe, because the exact word you used was incel, and I was like, I wholeheartedly believe I would not have been an incel.
I feel like a lot of men wholeheartedly believe that they wouldn't be an incel, and probably a bunch of them who believe that they're not are incels still.
Probably, but the reason I say that is because from reading the book, the thoughts that like were happening at the time, I knew I didn't like fall into that category at that time. When she was talking about people who get was it communicated? No, it's communicated. What's that?
Indoctrinated.
Indoctrinated. That's it.
What was it? Communicated. Excommunicated.
Yeah.
You can tell you went to Catholic school. You
yeah, honestly.
Excommunicated.
Yeah. So,
like Henry VIII when he divorced his wife. You're moving mad.
So indoctrinated. And I knew at that time I didn't have the mentality that would have allowed me to be indoctrinated.
You had the mentality.
I didn't have the mentality that would allow me to be indoctrinated, because even when...
No, but I feel like you would have eventually.
No, because back when I was like I had social anxiety and was socially awkward, like, and I did research on how to socialize with people, and like pick up artistry did come into that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew at a point where I looked at this pickup artist, I was like, this guy's insane.
See, that's really lucky, but at the same time,
that's what I'm saying.
At the same time, it's like it's a rabbit hole thing though. So even the fact that you were in a position where you were Googling how do I socialize with people, that would have been an easy way in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Because the fact that before I met you, I was at that point where I could have fallen into that, and I didn't, is why I'm saying I would have never been it.
Okay, maybe.
That's why I'm saying I wouldn't, because
But maybe they would have just come up with crap.
You're not rating. You're not rating the kid. You're not rating me. You're making it. No, but
think about it like this. Think about it like this. No. Listen.
Okay.
Think about it like this, yeah?
Yeah.
If you hadn't met me and we hadn't hit it off, maybe you would have been back on the internet saying, "How do I make friends?"
Nah.
And that would have been the time that you fell down the rabbit hole. You never know. And to be fair, like before you met me, it was like pre-pubescent, yeah.
Yeah, but
imagine you're back in the same position late pubescent. It would be a completely different story.
Yeah, but
and I think it would be a more dangerous like keg waiting to explode.
Yeah, potentially, but I also don't like the fact that I just
you just don't want to believe that you could have been an incel.
No, but you don't want to believe I couldn't have been. That's what I'm understanding, because I gave a good example as to why I couldn't have been.
I don't want to believe it. It's that it's not true.
Yeah, like that's what you don't want to believe it.
No, it's not that I don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
No, it's not that I don't want to believe that you couldn't have.
Because you're talking about if, buts, and maybes.
And what you do absolutes?
No.
Is that what you're going to tell me?
No, and I talked about things that did happen and why the evidence that's happened shows that I wouldn't have gone down that path. And you're talking about if we hadn't gotten along.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to say that. Okay, you say that you're basing your stuff on evidence.
Yeah.
I'm saying anything is possible, and we can't know for sure because we can't go back in time and explore that.
Yeah. But
I'm saying that it is entirely possible that this is some kind of butterfly effect.
Yeah, but
yeah.
what you're because
But you just don't want to. You just want to believe that there's no way.
Because what you're saying is that because I feel like us being friends already proves the fact that I wouldn't have been an incel because if I would have, then you probably wouldn't have liked me.
No, I don't think I would have known that that's what you were. That's what.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you were, and I still don't know.
Okay, but yeah, but say and then you're now going with like a whole different timeline of how events would have gone that would have pushed me towards being an incel.
Yeah.
But it also could have not gone that way.
Yeah, but my main point is to highlight just how easy it is to fall down that trap.
Yeah.
And the way that the book highlighted that for me. But that it is very, very easy to end up.
But I feel like my personal issue with it is how certain you was that it was going to be me if it wasn't for you.
No, but it could have been any. No, but I said no, but at the beginning when you brought it up, because you can go back and listen. Yeah, when you brought it up, I did say it's not specific to you. I'm just saying. Yeah, you said that now. Caricature,
but that's what I'm saying. At the time of you giving me the book, you said it as if it was certain that it would have been me. That it was me if it wasn't for you.
Well,
at the time, that's what you're saying, and even at this point, you're still. When I
was feeling myself.
Yeah, even at this point, you're still semi-certain that if it wasn't for you, I'd be like that.
No, but I feel like that's the same story for every man. If it wasn't for someone, they would have ended up like that in this misogynistic world.
Yeah, but
whether that's like a family member, a friend.
Yeah, because the reason I think I wasn't is because of my mum. But you...
Yeah, we tag team this.
yeah, but you just want to be involved.
I mean, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's that, I guess. So, until next time, I guess.
Until next time.
How do you even end this thing, man?
Same when you're not there. Friends, a la la poo la la.